Isaac has been freed, so now it seems the next destination for Salisa's Liberation Army is Manster, otherwise known as Kuan's homeland. And it seems word spread pretty fast. But unfortunately, not every country has completely awesome second-generation children characters to lead them, so their rebellion attempts have failed miserably. Because, you know, that's the fate of all NPCs in this game. And yes, now we finally get to see him for ourselves leap. He was mentioned a bit in the first generation. Quan Ethlin's son. And what it just said there about him gathering a resistance force, yeah, Fire Emblem 5 is pretty much the story about how he does that. I'll explain about that later, but see, now there, Bramzel, he's not really connected to the Empire or the Lop sect, but we'll find out what role he has to play in this chapter a bit later. And yes, now, Bloom is in fact the son of Reptor, which makes him Tiltu's brother. And for some reason, they're one of the few pairs of siblings in this game that are completely confirmed to be full-blood siblings, as opposed to half-siblings. For some reason, a lot of the others just, they haven't quite confirmed that fact. Anyway, after going somewhat off topic there, and yes, this is in fact the same Finn from the first generation. And there's a reason why I was, recommending training him, because he is the only character in this game who is usable, well, fully usable, in both Generation 1 and 2. Right, so we've got a rescue mission here. Of course, they're also cousins, because Leaf's mother was Salisa's sister. Now, this here is Nana, and it's kind of obvious to tell by looking at her that she's Lachesis' daughter. Now, why she's with Finn and Leaf in Leinster? Well, Fire Emblem 5 goes its way into explaining that. Although there's a whole detailed backstory. Basically, Lachesis kind of had a few connections in Leinster. Well, not so much as, I think it was Eltersane's wife who was originally from there. But what happened to her, that's more detailed in 5, although there are some hints at it here. I don't think it explicitly says it, so I'm just going to actually explain here. Lachesis isn't dead, but she just somehow went through the desert and disappeared, mysteriously. In fact, speaking of which, that's something that I'll explain a bit later. It seems like there was something that may have been cut from the game, but this shrine may have in fact been connected to that. Of course, the shrine is also being robbed at this point by, well, I'll say it here, Bridget's daughter. But seems this guy's really keen on getting that sword she stole off her. We'll find out exactly why in a moment. Yeah, now, if you remember from before, the Balmark is in fact the holy sword of the Odo bloodline. Which means, yes, that guy there, he is Shannon. He, like Oife, has grown up a lot since the first generation. And now, of course, this is the, this very weird, lopped priest guy who has a habit of losing his books. For some reason, that became almost a running joke, because a character like that also appeared in Fire Emblem 5. Yeah, for some reason those guys just have trouble finding things. And yes, unfortunately, we need to cross an enormous desert, and that's pretty much what this whole chapter entails. And you don't want to mess with those Dark Mages. The Desert of Death, and that is our next destination. It's going to take us quite a while to get through there, and that's an understatement. In fact, one entire chapter pretty much spent just going through the desert. Which is why some people may call this the worst chapter in the game. I mean, that's not really saying all that much. It's not actually that bad compared to some of the others, but I mean... Well, then again, desert chapters in the whole series don't really have a very good track record. Mostly because of just the really frustrating movement speed. But anyway... Now, battle preparations are back. Before, we couldn't really do anything at the main castle. But now... Well... The good thing is, due to the new YouTube time limit, it means I can now safely put these in one part with the introduction. And now, this also means the arena's back, and it's kind of weird because back in Chapter 5, we were used to using, incredibly powerful characters who could just pretty much take down the whole arena all by themselves. Now, however, you need to be a little bit more careful. Not everyone can fully handle the arena in this chapter. So I'm actually going to show it with Sakasar at the moment, because I wanted to show it with Celise until I realised he actually couldn't quite beat it. So yes, the first opponent was an axe fighter, who really shouldn't pose much of a threat. Second one is a mage. Again, if you kill him quickly, he's not too much trouble. Third opponent, a lance knight, who is generally pretty easy as well. So the first three, most characters will be able to get past the first three. It's later that we run into a couple of stumbling blocks. Now, of course, the fourth opponent, a sword fighter. Now, yes, like in Generation 1, these arena sword fighters are really, really annoying. Not for somebody who has Astra, though. Yeah, essentially, if you don't have good enough speed and or skill, you'll probably fail against this guy. And he actually got resistance there, which is really odd. Now, this next guy... actually deceptively difficult, but I'm mainly showing this fight for one reason. This is possibly the unluckiest arena fight I've ever had. Just watch this. Yes, he had 5 attacks from Astra, and he missed all of them. Not only that, he actually managed to miss every attack except one. And yes, he had a 72% chance of hitting. That's not all that bad, really. Of course, I reloaded a few times and finally managed to win. Now, the next opponent is a warrior. Apart from the fact that he has a huge amount of HP and will do a crapload of damage if he hits you, he's not a problem. Of course, he can kill some of your characters in one hit, but that's really the only threat he poses. Yes, of course, expect Ira's children to be gaining enormous amounts of skill. Now, the final opponent is a general with a silver sword. So, yeah, you'll have to watch out for Great Shield. But thankfully, this guy doesn't really have that big of a hit rate, so he's normally not too much trouble. Luckily, I managed to avoid Great Shield activating, which is good. Now, yeah, I just showed it with Sakasar, but... not all that many characters can actually get through the full arena. The ones I know, okay, from my playthrough who could at this point, were Sakasar, Latch, Arthur, Oife, and surprisingly, Yohalva and Fee. Now, I just wanted to show this one thing. Also, in the item shop, there's a couple of new items that are here. Particularly is this one, the Flame Sword. Now, you can't actually get the Flame Sword anywhere else, and that's really the only reason I'm going to buy it here. It's Still kind of useful, you know. There are some situations where you will want a ranged attack, so... I mean, it's not amazing, but it does help in some situations. They're also selling a recover staff, but at this point I don't really have anyone who can use it and have enough gold to buy it, so I'm going to skip that for the moment. Still, you can't actually get that flame sword anywhere else. And now, this is one thing I'm going to show. You know how the arena enemies sometimes change depending on if you're using a bow or not? Now, if you are using a bow here, instead of the sword fighter, you get this guy, a hunter named Kashim, and the only reason I'm showing him is because his name is in fact a reference to a character from the original Dark Dragon and the Sword of Light, who was called Castor in the English version of Shadow Dragon. Yeah, so a couple of the arena enemy names are actually throwbacks to the early games. I think the general at the end, Wolf, could have easily been Wolf as well, which is kind of funny considering how in Shadow Dragon a lot of people make Wolf instead get generals. Anyway, that's probably all the preparations we'll be doing. Next time we start this chapter,